To think that I would end up with a really great friendship in addition to a relationship out of just taking the risk of saying, yes, I'm going to join Love Strategies. A year ago, I would never have even considered this a possibility. So to know that it's not only a part of my world, but it is part of my everyday now, says a lot about what Adam has to offer. I was picking all the guys that were just like him, and ones that were just in it for, Adam has a ton of names for all of them, right? But whether it be the roper or the orbiter or whatever, it was that's what I ended up with. And so at that point, I found Love Strategies and fought it for a while, I would say. Like, this is so counterintuitive. This doesn't make sense to me. And being an analytical mind, I taught math for many years. Math is my degree. And so it was like, okay, this makes no sense to the logical mind, right? At all. And just said, okay, embrace the steps, embrace the process. And as Adam says, if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. In the early first week, second week, you're doing your love vision and figuring out what that is, right? And that has been evolving through the course of the year as well. And after, going on dates and through using the steps to process what those dates look like, I realized some of the things I had in my love vision weren't necessarily what I was actually looking for. And once I made that shift, and I would say probably really understood all of the steps and making sure that I followed them, it made all the difference in the world. So yeah, so John and I, he was the one actually to define the relationship. It was not me. And it was an impromptu dinner that we had gone to. And he called me on his way driving home, and he said, you know what? He goes, I realized driving home tonight that you are what makes me happy. And I don't want to do this with anybody else. And I was like, okay, wait, shouldn't we have had this conversation in person? And he was like, we probably should have. He said, but I didn't realize until I drove away and was driving home that that's what I needed. So yeah, like I know Adam says, it doesn't have to be this big, elaborate conversation. And it really is that simple. It really is that simple. I was not skeptical about joining. I was skeptical about what it was going to be able to actually do. Am I going to be able to do this? Like, I need to follow the steps. I need to follow the process. And I didn't at first. I didn't. I fought it and fought it. And when I finally said, you know what, challenge accepted, like, I'm going to do it his way. I'm going to do it the way that he's coaching. I'm going to do it the way that the coaches in the forum and on the masterminds preach every single week. Even though I had heard it a million times, it was the 1,000,001 time that I heard it, that it was like, okay, I hear what they're saying. I hear what they're telling me. And so my advice is to just do it, but be willing and open to follow the process and to listen to what they're saying, and be willing to take that risk. And we just happened to be responding to the same post, and we connected that way. And I don't remember like what it was, but something, she had mentioned something like, hey, I don't think I live that far from you. We met at the farmer's market, and we actually did not walk around the market at all. We went to the little restaurant next door because they have music, and we had mimosas and had breakfast and just chatted for several hours. We continue to, once a month, we do this thing called Whiskey and Women. And we do that once a month. And then other times we'll either meet at like a happy hour place, or we'll go to dinner, we'll go to the farmer's market, but we get together. We have plans Friday after Thanksgiving, actually, to get together, but we get together at least once a week, sometimes more, and just hang out and, talk. It's awesome. We have a great time. I think that I would end up with a really great friendship in addition to a relationship out of just taking the risk of saying, yes, I'm going to join Love Strategies. A year ago, I would never have even considered this a possibility.